was for real until I found this shit, man. This where my heart at. Look,
I thought this was interesting because I feel like a lot of people go through that. Like, we've had other past episodes where we talked about like how to get to know someone and decide if you want to be in a relationship with them, but we never talked about how do you kind of work in reverse. Because people are ever changing. So whether, you know, it's a new relationship or it's an old relationship, at some point you have to get to know your partner again.
Yeah. I mean, get to know them again.
Shit happens in life, okay?
Okay.
So, you know, I thought we could talk about what your best ideas are on how to maintain the relationship, but also to get reacquainted with your partner. Mm-hmm. And then what mine are. And hopefully we can give this young lady some tips.
Okay, so what, sorry, what's the first thing that we need to talk about?
What do you mean with the first thing we need to talk
Like
about? Your tips for getting to know your partner.
Ooh.
So maybe you can give 3 and I can give 3 and then she'll have a total of 6 and maybe we can save somebody's screwed up relationship.
I'm sorry. So I'm like, yeah, because I have a tendency to think while I'm talking and not focus on what I'm saying. So I guess the first thing with that is if you're in a situation where you feel like your partner is changing, and hopefully they are changing for the better, being, you know, positive and growing and stuff like that, I would say, because we've had to deal with this ourselves, you and I, as you continue to grow and as I continue to grow, hopefully positively, I would say, like, the number one thing is, like, if you're not engaging your partner, dog, like, nothing else is going to happen. Like, it's an all stop before that. It's like, so everything has to start with engagement. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say that, I'm not talking about, like, getting married. I'm talking about how do you interface with your partner? How are you talking to them? How are you trying to reach them where they at? You know what I'm saying? How are you trying to relate to them? And that can be a bunch of different things. I think, like, you do it the same way that you would do, treat it almost like a blind date or speed dating or something like that. You got to have an icebreaker in your back pocket. So for me, with Candace, that starts with doing something new or different. I think, like, when I look back on our relationship, especially when it started, like, really getting better, and, you know, shouts out to Jayden Hollywood, when he started hearing in your voice that I was doing the right things, I think that the thing that I think of first, like the catalyst for all of that, was when I took you to a paint night. You remember when we went on a date and we went to that paint night?
Yeah.
And you just had a blast. And I think because we hadn't done something like that before, and it was a sort of an idea I came up with, like, sort of out of the blue, and, you know, you hadn't said, hey, let's do this. You weren't trying to lead. You were letting me lead, and I was like, hey, let's go on a date. And I didn't even really tell you for real until, like, we were close to getting there. I think something like that, that's a cool icebreaker, because this is what it does to me if somebody did it for me, when Candace has done it for me, rather. It creates a situation where you're reminded that your partner loves you and cares about you. It's like, oh, this person went and took me out, you know, nice date. And it ain't got to be something glamorous where you just, you know, take them, like, Louis bag shopping or something like that. Something that's, like, really intimate, where it's like, this person knows me. This is not something a rando could have came up with. This was an awesome time. So it's a reminder that your partner loves you and they care about you. After that, it's much easier to open up and try to figure out what happens next. Because, in my opinion, the number one thing in relationships is somebody doesn't feel like they're being fed on some level. They don't feel like they're being fulfilled on some level. So when you remind them, hey, I got your back, girl. You know, I got your back, bro. You know, however you got to do it, that's the way it starts. But you can't do that being a bump on a log. You know what I'm saying? So if you, like, falling the fuck back and it's like, you know, we get good quality time. All right, what y'all do for quality time? Man, we kill Netflix like a month. That's not quality time, bro. Like, that's passive. Y'all need to do something active where you're engaging with each other, where you get to know each other again, where you getting that conversation popping. So that's my first thing. Like, engage them on a level that they can appreciate with something new and different. What you got?
I would say that my best tip is to stop using sex for everything. Now, okay. I know that sounds like mad shady because you don't like to, you know, get digged down and
I don't,
you know, have their face rode to the mattress and shit. But a lot of times, like, people use sex as a Band-Aid for a lot of things.
Okay.
So
that's probably how you got in a relationship in the first place.
More than likely, because people like having sex with other people. But I would totally say stop using sex for everything. Let sex be, like, the icing on the cake instead of what you have to do.
Like, that's heavy.
Well, yeah, because I think that when we start with attraction, it starts with physical. Like, no one
Always.
just woke up and just like, oh my God, I just heard her voice and now I want to go date her.
That's
no,
still physical in
you
a way.
saw
That's still
somebody, like I said, you saw somebody and you saw something that you like, and then you went over there and talked to them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it just kept going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, if your relationship is really physical, then in the moment we have endorphins and stuff swimming around, we having a great fucking time, like literally. So if you take that out of the equation and find something else to do that doesn't always end in sex or start with sex, then you might start seeing what other areas you're compatible in.
But Candace Danae, what if I really, really, really like sex with this person?
Do you like anything else with them?
Yeah, but I like sex the most.
Do you like anything else about them though?
I mean, they cool, you know.
Like,
we talk
you
sometimes.
trying to get to know each other, bruh.
Okay.
If you can take some things that you're already doing out and see what other things you might have in common without the physical, then you might be able to figure out if this is even worth progressing in the first place.
I don't know, like with this situation, I wish like the listener, I know you listening, or I appreciate it if you are listening, like I wish I could ask you in person, like, well, how did you get into a relationship with somebody in a way that you didn't know them? Is it a situation where you just rushed it too fast, or was it a situation where you were like, you thought you knew this person, they showed you something new, or, you know?
Well, let's speak to both scenarios.
Okay.
Let's say that I thought I knew this person and they showed me something new. Maybe y'all got into y'all first fight. And then you're like, damn, I didn't know this person was even capable of yelling at me like this or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So then it's like, dang, I don't know this person at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that can feel betraying because then you thought that somebody was someone that they weren't, but in reality, you realize that you may not have taken the time to get to know them for real.
I think that's very introspective, like that somebody would even come up with that to be like, oh, maybe I didn't know this person, like part of that is my fault. Because I think to me that's the crux of a lot of issues where people step outside themselves and say, well, how did I contribute to this issue? Because everybody loves to be like, this ain't got nothing to do with me, this ain't my fault, you know, I'm blame free.
My name is Bennett and I ain't in
Yeah, this
it.
is an internal issue that they got to work out. It's like, nah, bro, if that's your partner, even if y'all not married, if you committed to them like that, chances are you contributed to it in some kind of way. Now, they may be the source of the issue, you know what I'm saying? Like, Candace Danae having a bad day and coming home, and she doesn't do this, but coming home and cursing me out because she had a bad day at school, that's a Candace Danae issue. But at the same time, she's coming home and the dishes is all dirty, the dogs stink, you know what I'm saying? Like, the floors is, like, all grimy and crusty and shit. You know, yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just throwing out some examples.
I'm like, dang, that sounds terrible.
Laundry been sitting there for a week, even though you said you was going to do it last week. You contributed to the problem, bro. Like, so that's how I try to stay calm with shit. It's like, how did I contribute to this? No, that's not her cursing at you is not your fault. But you didn't help create the better situation. What did you do to create a more positive situation? I think when people start there, both sides start there, it's much easier to come to a resolution, dog. Like, what did I do? Okay, I did some shit. Okay, now the other person doesn't feel like you ganging up on them. They're like, you know what? I did some shit too. My bad. My bad too, dog. All right, let's fix it.
Cool, but how does that help you get to know someone that you're already in a relationship with?
So you talking
like you
want
to keep the relationship. So how does that help?
No, that's what it resolves.
You like
arguments.
it don't.
It don't. I was just thinking about issue resolution. So, because you were talking about like that first argument shit. I think the next thing with that kind of shit is like, I don't know, depending on your relationship, you can just say that to that person. You know, I don't advise it for everybody, but if you feel like y'all are really open and you just seeing some shit you ain't seen before and they super comfortable around you, it's like, hey man, we need to talk for a sec. Hey girl, so I feel like I've seen things from you, you know, positive and negative that I didn't realize you were capable of, and sometimes like I feel like part of who you are is a stranger, so I want to get to know you better. And then you just outline like some of the issues, like
how are you gonna get to know them though? Like, what are you gonna do?
We gotta have open conversation about what that is specifically, because like when people feel like they don't know somebody, it usually, like you said, either they come to the realization like I'm just moving extra fast, or they're like, you know what, dog, I ain't never seen that shit before. That's wild. Like, I don't know nothing about you. Gotta call that shit out. You can't be afraid to call shit out. So when you see something that you ain't seen before that is a concern to your ass, don't bring it up 5 days later. Don't bring it up 2 weeks from now. Like, I've been thinking about this, but you remember that thing you did 2 weeks ago? No, my guy, I don't. Okay, it's been 2 weeks. I've been paid since then. So no, I don't remember.
All my worries have left me when that paycheck came.
Yeah. So in that moment, be like, I didn't seen this from you before. Like, everything good was prompting this. What's going on? Like, so you gotta, like, if you see an action, you gotta figure out where the action came from, and you gotta do it in the moment. You gotta be brave. Sometimes that means getting into a conflict and having an argument and shit, but you gotta be able to stand on your own too and be like, hey, that shit you doing, I ain't seen it before. I need to know why you doing it. And they should be able to answer that if that's your partner. Now, if that's somebody you smashing, they don't know you shit. But if this person has a title, like boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, fiance, they owe you a conversation. Straight them down. So you gotta have a conversation. Be brave.
Okay, so my tip for how to get to know somebody is to do something that y'all might have said that y'all liked in passing. So let's say, you know, you're in a situation, you've been dating or fucking or whatever y'all been doing for however long y'all been doing it. Everyone hopefully has said that there's something that they wanted to do that maybe they haven't done with you already. Maybe it's going to a certain restaurant. Maybe it's going to do a certain type of activity, like how you mentioned with the pay night. Like, just hit up one of those things, plan something out, take that initiative and just make it happen. And then you'll see if this person was really like being earnest about it, especially if it's something competitive, like Top Golf.
I guess that's competitive.
I mean, you are competing as keeping score, so, you know, you can go do something competitive and see how people act in different environments. I think that can speak to a lot.
Get to know them through the activity.
Yeah.
I think that's
because, like,
slick.
if you go do something where you guys are playing against each other, like bowling, you get to see how competitive they really are. You get to see how they act when you guys aren't on a team. And I just think bowling alleys are kind of fun. Like, who doesn't want to go bowl? Bowling's hella fun. But yeah, you know, you can do shit like that. Another thing that I was thinking is hang out with your friend groups.
Like each
because
other's
birds, birds of a feather flock together. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
All right, that can be that last one. I think the first one was a really good idea. But
I think
that
the last one is too.
Of course it is, because you said it. Like, you don't think you give out bad ideas.
No, I do sometimes. I'm an enabler, but I don't think that's a bad idea.
That's honest. The problem with that, like, especially with guys and girls, like, how do you do that necessarily? Because you want to hang out with their friend group while they're there, or do you want to hang out with their friend group while they're not there?
While they're there, like double dates and shit. So, for instance,
what if they got a bunch of single friends?
Then have a house party. I don't know.
Okay.
Get around their friends, see how the fuck they are.
You're about to say for instance?
Huh?
You're about to say for instance, and you were going to say something.
Yeah, but you already negated it with half of if these niggas are single. I was like, have a house party, have my friends come meet your friends, and maybe we can be friends, or we'll have a big ass conflict, but we gonna see how everyone acts around their friend group. We're not gonna bring up no old shit, so I'm not gonna use any personal anecdotes about that.
I like the way that, like, the type of advice that we're giving, like, right now, because like,
clearly we have two very different ideas on how it is to know somebody.
No, I mean, not necessarily. I think the way that you're coming across is more like passive. I think in a lot of situations it's going to be easier for somebody to digest. For example, you want to get to know somebody better, so you're like, hey, man, let's have a house party. You know, boo thing, we can invite all your friends. I'm invite all my friends. It's going to be a good time. Like, who's going to turn down a good house party, right? In the meantime, you collecting all this intel about who they really are. My ass is
I'm
like...
sneaky. Hey, I'm sneaky. And apparently my dog is too. He all up in a conversation.
Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, sit your ass down. We need to talk. I need to learn everything about your ass. So
Interrogation.
Be prepared to download your entire personality and put it on this thumb drive now. It's like, yeah, that's a little more aggressive and direct.
Intimidating.
It makes people defensive. So I think that I like your ideas better than mine, if I'm being real.
Because mine sound like shit that you want to do.
And mine sound like shit that only works on me.
Yours sound like shit that nobody really wants to sit down and do.
No, it's just shit I'm willing to do. Like I said, it works on Robert just fine. I wouldn't recommend it for a whole lot of people, though. Like, you might be, hey, we need to talk. Like, so the way
no one likes to start a conversation when we need to talk.
That's how you know. To me, it's a tone setter. Shit's about to get really real. Hey, we need to talk real quick.
But
Why? Why is that a problem? You don't want to talk to me? What's wrong?
Because people always start out with "we need to talk" when some bullshit's gonna come or some shit you didn't want to talk about's about to come up. So that's why I'm like, fuck, that's not a good way to start a conversation.
Yeah,
it's better be like, hey, you doing something right now? And then just start talking. Then they won't have that fuck mentality.
Why you always gotta finesse somebody? You gotta catch them off guard and shit.
Because you catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Or you make that person
we need
super
to talk
irritated.
as vinegar.
It's like, oh, what's up, babe? Yeah, so I need to know where you were at 3 in the morning the other week, because I know you think I didn't realize you got in bed at like 4:30, but I know you did. Like, so I got shit to do actually, babe. I didn't realize you wanted to have that kind of conversation. Okay.